All right. Okay. So that's weird because this is over here. Hmm. Let me see. Fuck it, I guess. I mean, I guess. Screw it. If that's what we're gonna do, I guess that's what we're gonna do. Because I can't get it to do what I need it or wanted it to do. But just kind of run down for everybody if you're watching this, in the future, is I got my game here, I got the camera over here, and then obviously my recording stuff over here, which is weird because like, why is it doing that? Let's see. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 no. All right, so there we go. I think everything's set up. So hey guys, welcome to Planet Crafter. And for those who, you know, are new to the account or the channel that I haven't streamed in over 3 years, um, I'm Firewatch or Firewatch Gaming, I guess, whatever you want to call me. Um, I am actively taken. I got a promise ring right there. It's a God loving, God fearing relationship, hopefully. And, I may talk about it a little bit, but let's get the game started and then we can kind of talk. And even if like nobody ends up playing or like watching, you know, going ahead, just do a basic stuff and then, oh, I have a custom version. Did it? I do like the random consequences. And I do like to play on this like insta kill mode. Let's see. Uh, hmm, I think that's about it. I keep it like a little bit slower and a point 0.5 increase. And I think that's what we can do just to kind of play around. And I'm going to do offline, but if I get views and maybe they want to join or something, I may. So, welcome to the game, guys. This is where I know where I am. So this is like the meteor place. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got a wreck over there and stuff. But so yeah, this is where you start. You're in a landing pod. You got welcome to your assigned planet. Your mission is to advance the terraformation process of this world. You'll need to generate O2, heat, and pressure. First reach 175,000 TI. I don't exactly know what that stands for, and create a blue atmosphere, which will be a blue sky. Obviously, as you can see, it's kind of dusty and white. So this is your crafting table. Pretty much is like if you've ever played Subnautica or something. You got your O2 tanks, water, a construction chip, a deconstruction chip, and a torch, a backpack, and O2 tank, obviously. This is my starting materials. I got a seed, some O2, some water. I always like to grab the O2 and all that. So obviously, I just gotta kind of get the first few things. So for the construction, it's two silicon, add into magnesium, and then you got the deconstruction chip, which is like half of that, and then you got the torch. I do want to get an upgraded backpack and an upgraded oxygen tanks, so I'll be likely going for these two first, and then going for the chips, which is normally not hard. Which let me actually turn this down a little bit. Sound effects are a little loud. Yeah, there we go. So what we are going to do is just kind of run around, collect what I can. Um, I kind of know this game already pretty well, and I kind of know a little bit of the story. But I'm gonna just kind of let y'all experience it with me, hoping that y'all this is recording decently. I know it's probably not the best because I got a crappy computer, but it makes the job done. Um, Probably running a little bit of bad graphics from what I can tell. Um, but let's see. So go ahead, make the O2 tank. I do need one backpack upgrade. Let's see. Iron. I'm gonna take that. Sounds so silly. Iron. There we go. A little bit of titanium never hurt. So this is a shipwreck and it's ice. I'll teach you about that in a second. So what we kind of start off with is just a little bit of the grindy part, getting everything. Um, Obviously, it's gonna be a little slower than everything else, just because that's how it is. Me, and then you get ice and stuff. Let me see, magnesium. So magnesium are these little crystal-like formations um, that are kind of more rocky brown, as like magnesium is, and kind of just use that as the example. Um, you got the let's see the construction ship we'll go ahead and make, and then I need to collect a little bit more for the deconstruction ship. Let's see. Got some silicon. Go up here and grab some of this magnesium. Oh, if I was paying attention to what I was doing. Let's go all the way back up here, and then we'll go ahead and get the deconstruction ship, and then kind of just show you guys if you don't already know. So this is a construction menu. So this kind of just shows you everything you build, kind of like as I said in Subnautica and stuff. You got the living compartment, you got the all the stuff like that, and then you got machines, so the stuff to help progress. And then you got screens. So screens is kind of what tells you everything. Obviously, you see, I can't really. All I got is my O2 and stuff in the bottom left, goals up in the top right, and then or top left, and then more of just like the general index of the terraformed amount in the top right. So you normally start off by making your first habit. I always like to go for a slightly flatter land, but I don't mind terraform. Or well, you don't really terraform, but you can build stilts and stuff, and that's what I normally go for. Is just going up to the slightly flatter land. Um, Pardon for the yawn, but you kind of just go up here and you go all the way. There's a few flatlands. But I'm gonna just toss this one here for now, and then a little bit of silicon real quick. Try to find some. Tell me we ain't got none, huh? Then obviously it's gonna let you know when your O2 is low and stuff like that. I found that the best way to kind of just is or extend the O2 tanks is to either save for when you can do something like that, or you can just run in fully regen it, or you can pop your O2 tank because it completely fills it up. Um, but yeah, so this is the first habit. It's low power, kind of like how the Subnautica does it, but it also works a little different because Subnautica you don't have the O2. In this game you do. So looks like I have two titanium. Looks like I kind of need a little bit more iron and stuff to keep building. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go look for that. I'll grab a little bit of magnesium just in case. Obviously, at the beginning, you don't really want to stray too far, but and then obviously you get these blue chests. These are kind of like a early loot chest kind of thing. You find them just scattered around. You got seeds and more plants and stuff. I'll kind of go over that when it comes to being able to do that stuff. Let's see, back over to the habit. So you can kind of just go up in here. What I always like doing is creating a little desk right here next to the opening. And then this is where I normally you'd create your like first few screens and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and build a chest real quick. Right under it. And then it kind of looks a little weird because of the stuff like that, but it works. Let's see. It's green, so now I just kind of need to collect a little bit of everything. Silicon's probably going to be a bigger one. I know later in the game, iron normally becomes the issue, but silicon is almost always. So here's another loot chest, kind of just showing you guys. It's normally it's common stuff, so iridium is decently common just based on the location we are in. I'm gonna go put that in there for that. And normally, what you can do is just leave them there. They won't disappear or anything. They just will kind of sit there for a little bit. Um, and what you normally find is that you can just go in, do what you need, and almost always it tends to work out. Let's see, like that. What I always try to do is give that kind of more like big setup vibe. Also, now that I have the a little bit extra iron, I'll put some windmills down, kind of as our first bit of energy production. They are somewhat picky when it comes to when you where you place them, but those will work for now. And then let's see. So yeah, so kind of as we started off, these will land for now. I kind of need a little bit of iron and silicon, more of that, which I'm not, not too afraid of. There's normally a lot of it hanging around at the beginning. And that's a message screen, so that's something you kind of unlock a little bit later in the game. And I get why some people may just want to click off and stuff. I mean, I am a little bit boring, so I'm not going to say, hey, just hang around. As I say, if you're bored, go find something better to watch. You know what I mean? Um, so it is like in this area, I've kind of grown used to it. just know how to travel it from previous games, but it can get a little disorientating. And just kind of you got to remember where you put your stuff, or at some point put like lights or beacons around. So let me go ahead and toss this down. So these are the first few screens you ever set up. You got your interface that kind of shows you your power usage and everything. I kind of like it, it's because it makes it better for when it comes to like breaking stuff down and looking at what's causing you not to have enough power. You got your blueprints. So now that I kind of have everything set up, I can start gaining blueprints. So Terraformation, so the TI has its own tree, which kind of just slowly progresses you. Like you first start off with backpacks and solar panels, and then you go into like a little bit decorative, get a advanced crafter at some point. Then you kind of go, you get into the bigger stuff, like launching platforms, water collectors and stuff. Because most of the time, by this time, you're already getting rain and stuff. Then you have your O2. So your O2 kind of is a little mixed path. It includes a lot of your growth bed, or should I say your heat, actually. So the more O2 you add, the more heat you can put in, kind of thing. It's weird, but it is. And then it also includes like a grass spreader and stuff like that. Um, and then with your heat, that's where you get slightly upgraded vegetables growers, which kind of gives you the more option of growing stuff and creating your O2. So it kind of works vice versa. And then your pressure. So pressure is kind of caused by mining, which is also kind of included in the heat. Like you get your drills and stuff. And then that will give you like your communication screens, nuclear reactors, automated drills, all your kind of advanced stuff when it comes to like making your life a little bit easier. Uh, so let's. I mean, I can just probably stay here and chat, or just sit here and play the game. Nobody's really watching, but who knows? Somebody may in the future. Who knows? You never know, kind of thing. So I kind of like this is something new I've somewhat started just putting the chests here. Um, it doesn't look bad. Oh, and yeah, there is the third person wave. I find half the time you just gotta buzz. I don't really know what the actual exit button is. Let's see. So let me. I'm actually getting thirsty, so I'm gonna wait for that to go down a little bit more and then hit it. Just kind of works the same way as O2. So the first few things, getting a vegetable tube, a heater, and then a crafting station and a drill. So crafting station's iron and silicon. I already have iron. I kind of just need the silicon now. Which I don't think I have any more in here. No, but I do have the iron and the water. I'll go ahead and take those. Leave those in there for now. So yeah, so also ice. So ice is a big factor in this. That's what kind of makes you your or gives you your water. You also have ice like this. So ice like this, it kind of works like a different ball game. Ice like this is kind of based on how much heat you have. So think about global warming. The more you heat up the planet, the more ice will melt. Like this one will start melting at 500. I always say PK. I know it's not PK. It's like an actual term, but I don't remember what it is. So kind of just a little bit small things that you grow get access. Most of the time, they're little fast walkways, or they open up more materials uh, and all that. Go ahead, head back over to the habit, get free O2 regen real quick, and then go back over there or something to get the silicon. Then there is food, which health is kind of like you kind of see my health going down over time. That's kind of just but it's normally health goes down super slow. O2 kind of is the same throughout the game, depends on how big your tank is. And then your water kind of, I don't know if it changes, but it can, I think. So there we go, kind of have everything. So first I'm going to make a T2 crafting station. Oh, did not mean to do that. Always like to put it in the corner right here, just because as soon as you walk in, if you need to craft something. Vegetable grow bed, I kind of just need a little bit of magnesium. Go ahead, toss the first one in here. And then the first drill, I kind of need a little bit of titanium. Grab that from her. And go ahead, put the first drill outside. Put it right on this hill. All right, and then let's look at this. I got about 0.52 kilowatts left, which means I have just a tad bit enough, I think, to be able to put my first heater down, I think. Let me go get a little bit more iron. Titanium, titanium. Let's see. Let's see. There's some silicon. And iron. There we go. Grab that real quick. And the first heater can go down. Ooh, so that did knock me out. So here's a proof. So I am needing exactly 2.68 kilowatts, and I am only producing about 2.40. So a way that I can fix this, because you can kind of see it shuts down everything, so drills and everything included. So it kind of just means you need to continue progressing. You have to keep your energy on. And it gets easier the more, or somewhat easier the more you play. Kind of just because you unlock more power sources. Let me go drink that water. Kind of just show y'all. It kind of fills it all the way up. Then let me make a few more drills, and yeah, right there. So I do normally like to put these little platforms in, um, just because it adds a little bit of that structure. And I understand where some people might not like it, just because it's a little messy, a little and like no point. But it's just looks for me, kind of thing. See if I can find a little bit more iron. Because early game's kind of just a grind to get everything set up, get progressed. Let's see. It's a lot of magnesium and ice. I do know there is an ice cave over here, but I'm not really needing that right now. See if I can get this. Yep. All right. So I go ahead and use that O2 tank. And head back over. It is gotten a little bit heavier of the storm, but it's still fine. So it looks like it is an asteroid or a rain, which I think uh, don't exactly do any damage, but I think what they do is they can, yeah, deploy more resources if you need it. I'll go ahead, get rid of that real quick, and then swap over the deconstruction real quick. Build this out, and then kind of just build them back. Slightly better looking fashion. Uh, and there you go. So now energy up. I got 4.52 kilowatts available, which I may use, may not use. Kind of just depends on what ends up going about. Let me see. Yeah, so I can go ahead and start that. And then my first exoskeleton I'm gonna go ahead and get. So what that does it gives you more space for chips and stuff up here. So now I have enough room if I wanted to make the flashlight. So two magnesium. I actually may, yep, right there. Go ahead get that, and that kind of just gives you a flashlight. Put the leftover silicon in there. Go ahead get that. Start. I'm gonna collect a little bit on this cobalt. Get some things. Oh, there we go. Got another oxygen tank upgrade. All right. I'm gonna actually head over to that one chest on the hill. That has a plant, which I'm gonna show y'all kind of what that means and what that does. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Back up here again. So yep, plant right there. Head back over. So you can run jump. It kind of helps, but only somewhat. So plants. So you have these right here. So this is kind of just asking find and insert flower seeds and vegetables to increase O2 on your planet. This is kind of just giving you the overview. And then you get these plants. So the Sneepa seed is one of the it has an O2 multiplier of 200%. So then you're growing at a so kind of how the plant work is you got a growth speed of a point 50, which means over time it will produce more percentage naturally. But if it was a basic plant, it'd be producing about I think it's point something percent. I think it just kind of depends on what you have, what percentage you have. Because like right now, it's producing a plus 0.36 ppq per second, and that's kind of just adding up. And then this is just kind of breakdown. Doesn't change anything. Have the first few things there. Oh, two things. So upgraded is titanium and two magnesium. I do not have the titanium on me, but it is right outside. And same as the magnesium. A little bit of iron, always don't mind. I'm gonna go over here and boom. So I got O2 tank 2 now. That goes all the way to 200. Let's see. Go ahead and make some O2 tanks just for traveling. And so you got all this kind of like a floodlights and stuff and everything. Drills and oxygen are the two big ones that I kind of focus a lot more, just because they do the most progress. But heat is a very good one that you need to do sometimes. There we go. T2 is unlocked for the backpack. That's going to be some silicon and some titanium. I now got some silicon. Let me go down here though, and I guess I get a little bit more. Just about everything. Over here, and boom. There we go. So we got more space, more O2 and everything. Let's see. I'll toss most of my hard metals over here. Okay. So let's see. That's pretty good, and just kind of tag into what I was saying on the or what I kind of have the title set is to talking about God. I know a lot of people don't really you know understand it and understand the faith. Um, and when people talk to them about it, they kind of just like, nah, I'm not Christian, or I don't really believe in that stuff, or say maybe you are a Christian, but you don't really understand it, or you're kind of just you just say you are kind of to fit in. And God kind of says, don't be a fake believer. For those who believe in me shall be forgiven. And obviously, he didn't say this entire thing, but in a pretty dumbed down English translation, that's kind of what he said, is if you believe in him, there is still salvation for you. And people say, yeah, I believe in him, but they don't really practice the word. Like, I'm a sinner of it. I mean, I don't will say, I won't act better than you. I won't act better than anybody. I know I kind of fail when it comes to, you know, participating and acting Christian and all that. But yeah, I kind of understand where some people get lost in it. But I think a lot of people need to understand is lukewarm Christians. If you just go to church and then that's the only time you pray to God, the only time you ask for Him to be in your life, I think that's where it kind of loses the point. Is the Lord wants you to do everything in the honor of Him, and He knows that you're going to mess up. He knows that you're going to fall, but He also knows that you're going to pick yourself up. And everybody kind of just needs to remember to pick yourself up, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people kind of just miss the point of what they need to do. Not because they're ignorant or they just don't really want to do it. I think a lot of it comes down to the way they were raised or how they were introduced to the faith. And as somebody that's kind of becoming Catholic, who used to be agnostic, and then uh, non-dominational, I think everybody kind of just needs to learn that it's not exactly about what we are doing. A lot of it comes down to how you do it and what you mean by it. Especially because a lot of us kind of just do what we think is right. But in the Bible, it tells us what we need to do. It tells us what's right. It tells us what's wrong. And that's kind of the sad thing is everybody, say they read the Bible, but they don't really read the Bible. It's just they listen or they act like they do. I'm not saying everybody does, and I'm not saying, it's the only thing people do. But if you read the Bible, it will tell you what you need to do. It tells you how to be a godly person. And I think, especially for young men, and definitely young women, but a lot of young men fail to be godly. Um, from the stretches of what it means to be a godly man, um, and what it means to be a man, a lot of people do get that confused. Being a man is being that provider, being a person there for everybody, being the guy that does the stuff that nobody wants to do. But also being a godly man is leading people towards Christ, leading people towards what God calls us to do. And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize how much it actually makes them feel better when it comes from doing the right thing. I know as somebody that used to be agnostic, who used to be a completely non believer, who kind of just came to the faith, when I started practicing what I was reading, I became a very happy man. And yes, I have my anxiety and I have my own small issues. I won't deny that at all. But I think a lot of people just let that bog them down. And and God says to us, and I don't exactly remember what chapter or what the exact quote is. I'm not going to say I do right off the top of my head, but I'll do my I'll look at it real quick, and I'm pretty sure it First Corinthians. Um, let's see, I think it's First Corinthians. Uh, let me see. Uh, hmm, what was it? Oh, no, it's not First Corinthians. My bad. I think it's no. Uh, Proverbs 3, 5 through 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding in all your ways. Submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Let go and try to control every future outcome." And that kind of just says, you need to let go of trying to control everything, trying to be hands on with everything, and let God take the wheel and submit to Him. And then Matthew 6:34 says, "Do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough troubles of its own." Um, or well, they let's see. I don't think it actually says that. Let me actually pull it up because I'm kind of just looking at a AI overview. I won't even lie. Let's see. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough troubles its own. Um, and I mean, I kind of, yeah, you kind of get it. Um, and it kind of says, stop worrying about it. It's already so much going on around you while you're worried about something that you have no control over. And I'd say I have a little bit of an issue with that, and I'm willing to admit that. And God calls us to be able to admit our sin, but do not be proud of your sin, but also do not feel guilty, for He knows that we will do it. You know what I mean? Um, which is not amazing that we're going to do it, but He knows what's going to happen. He knows what every person's going to do. And if you sin, yes, it's going to hurt. but it's also, he knew you were going to, but he's not upset. He's not going to hurt you about it. Oh, by the way, so yeah, so solar panels, these kind of just help produce more power, obviously. Um, Heat and stuff over here. But guys, it's been about 40 something minutes. I normally kind of just go for like a little bit longer YouTube video length, not a full live stream kind of thing. And I hope everybody kind of enjoyed the little bit of video. I know nobody really joined, but some people may be watching this later who find it or something. I don't know. But I hope everybody has is having a good day or good night. I know for me it's later in the later at night. It's about 9:45 my time. Um, but I hope everybody has a blessed night, and I pray for everybody for whatever situation you're in, whatever issues you may be going across. Just remember, God has a way of controlling what has to be done and what needs to be done. So don't worry too much and just trust that He will make things right. And I think everybody should just kind of remember that. And I hope everybody has a good night. And this has been Firewatch Gaming. Have a good night.